196 Ontario Street, St. Catharines, December 16, 1941. Dear Margie, just a line, dear, to let you know that I am okay and didn't lose my job, although things are pretty quiet at the camp, so I'll keep my fingers crossed. There wasn't a thing to do this morning, so I started squaring up that piece of black walnut I told you about. It certainly is a beautiful piece of wood, but very wet. I hope it doesn't check in drying. If it does, it's no good. However, I have some other pieces, so one should turn out okay. You know, there was more snow here than in Toronto, although it's about all gone as we had a little rain today. It sure mucked up the campsite. They had to keep dumping crushed rock on the loading ways to keep the trucks from bogging down. Raleigh took a picture of some of the trucks in the mud. If they are good, I'll bring them over. I wonder if you will do me a favor, dear, find out the train time and rate of fare for Haileybury for the Wednesday night. I think there is an excursion rate to the north from Toronto. Raleigh and I will drive over Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, and he wants to know if he can leave the car at your place, that's if it won't crowd the driveway. Received a letter from Gil and Enid. She is worried that Gil may be sent overseas after all. They thought that he might be sent back to the coast, but it seems that it's fallen through. She asked me to keep it from the mothers. Speaking of mothers, I hope yours is feeling much better. She certainly didn't look good on Sunday, however, a good crying spell after helps. Guess it's pretty tough on them at times. Well, darling, write soon, won't you, dear? I do enjoy your letters so much. The King's Mail is a wonderful thing. Gosh, the end of the pad, so much for turning over the old leaf. Getting stingy, aren't I? Wait until you are Mrs. B and find out. All my love, darling, with a great big shoes. As ever. Roger XXXX. 196 Ontario Street, St. Catharines, January 5, 1942. Dear Margie, just a line, dear, to let you know that I'm still alive and kicking, but just kicking, and that's all. They have been working us long and hard building a new staff house for a gang of engineers who will take charge of the straightening out of the river below the plant. So, with the work and trying to catch up on lost sleep, my time has been pretty well taken up. I fully intended writing Sunday evening but slept most of the time. Got a letter from home today. They received word from Gil just saying he arrived okay. There was quite an accident at the job today as one of the caterpillars and large tractors went over the bank. The driver was able to jump clear though and received only a few bruises, lucky I would say. Raleigh and I had some trip home. It rained almost steady and so hard at Burlington and Grimsby that we had to drive really slowly. It took us nearly 3 hours to make the trip. Excuse the turnover, dear, but I used the last of my paper before Christmas, and this is the last of Raleigh's pads, so everything goes on one sheet and not much of that, eh? Oh well, payday tomorrow, thank heavens, because we are broke flat. All we could do is scrape up enough dough for tobacco, but a little fasting won't hurt us. Well, darling, what did the boss say the morning regarding the police report? Too bad Kay couldn't carry out her part. I really enjoyed myself, darling, even if I did fall asleep. I wonder what Kay and the other girl, I forget her name, thought. Guess I was just fogged out, can't take it, eh? Well, darling, I haven't written for the ship, but will do so as soon as I can raise the price of a pad. As I said, there is only this sheet left, so it must go to you as you are the only one that has any claim. Write soon, dearest, all my love, darling. As ever. Roger XXXX. January 6, 1942. Dear Margie, this is just another short note, darling, but your welcomed letter arrived today, so our letters passed on the way. We start the new year good at least, eh, dear? You mentioned going to Eleanor's for a weekend. That would be okay with me. In fact, any place would be okay so long as you are there and we have the gin. What weekend will it be, darling, next? I hope, anyways, you make all the arrangements and I'll be there. So far as the fare is concerned, forget it. I would pay anything to have you in my arms right now, alone. I want to write the folks tonight, also my aunt and BB, regarding the skis. I will have them shipped to you, dear, if you don't mind, as I would only have to lug them over from here on the bus. There really doesn't seem to be anything more to write about, dear, and as I want to write other letters, even if it's getting on, if I don't do it tonight it won't get done until next Friday, as the next 2 nights are back to school. Write soon, dearest, and let me have the plans for our next weekend together. They mean everything to me, Marg. I love you as ever. As ever. Roger XXXX.